Hey guys, it's Finchlet, and today I'm going to be reviewing my Mystic Kids Verdin. We'll start off with some of the doll's measurements. Some of these are from the Mystic Kids website, and some I measured myself. So to start off, this doll is a very good stander. She's sculpted with thicker limbs than a lot of dolls of this size, and I think that makes her a little sturdier. Let's go ahead and have a look at her face and head first. She shipped to me with the default company face-up, a pair of eyes, and a set of eyelashes. I'm really pleased with the set of eyes I got because in the company images she's wearing eyes that have a really large dark iris, and it makes her look a little bit creepy in my opinion. I'll probably end up wiping the face up and repainting her at some point with a more natural look because I prefer that for younger looking dolls, but I like this one for now. Her head sculpt is well done and has a nice neutral expression. At the back of her head cap, she has a metal plate with the Mystic Kids logo. The head cap is magnetic and is easily removed and replaced. Inside the head, you have access to her S-hook and eye wells. The S-hook is a little large for the size of her head, and it makes it a little difficult to adjust the eyes without removing the head. That being said, the head is fairly easy to remove as long as you have something to pull the hook with. The range of motion of this doll's head honestly leaves a lot to be desired. She doesn't have a lot of back and forth motion, and it doesn't hold positions very well. That's about as far forward as she'll go, and about as far back. She does have a pretty realistic side-to-side motion. I'm not sure if weighting the neck joint would improve her head posability, or if it has more to do with how the S-hook is positioned in her head. Her shoulders have a very good range of motion. They'll swivel in pretty much any direction. Her elbows are double jointed and allow her arm to bend pretty far. The elbow will bend just enough to touch the face, but it doesn't quite hold that position. The wrist has decent back and forth motion, but it doesn't always hold position quite well. It seems kind of inconsistent. Side-to-side motion is pretty much none. I know a lot of people don't like the hands on the Mystic Kids 1/6 scale dolls. They're quite large and kind of cumbersome when posing the doll, so I tend to agree with that. The other hand doesn't pose quite as well as the first one. I'll probably end up suiting the wrist joints, and I expect that that'll improve the doll's posability quite a bit. Some of the larger Mystic Kids dolls have the option of a 3-part torso, but the 1/6 scale dolls only come with a 2-part with a joint right under the chest. The torso joint is well made and allows the doll a decent degree of flexibility. She can bend forward pretty far and holds that position really well. She doesn't bend backward quite as easily, but I feel like you could get her to hold a more extreme position if you're okay with some gapping. Her side-to-side motion is excellent, and the shape of the joint makes it look very natural. The hip joint will hold the legs in a raised position just greater than 90 degrees. They'll also move side to side just enough to move the legs a little bit wider than shoulder width. They do have some rotational movement, but the legs also come with a thigh joint that locks into position to provide a great variety of leg poses. The thigh joint can also come out of its socket a little bit to allow a greater range of motion in the hips than the hip joints alone. It does look a little awkward though. Like the elbows, the knees are also a double joint, allowing the knee to bend past 90 degrees. The knee really doesn't bend back very far, however, and I don't think there's anything you can do to fix this, since trying to bend it further causes the knee joint to unseat from the socket. The ankles have a great range of motion and hold their position a lot better than the wrists do. You have a lot of options for positioning the feet when you pose this doll. As I said at the beginning of the video, she's a great stander, and it's not hard at all to get her to stand on her own. She can also sit with her legs out without being propped up, although it's obviously safer to put her arms out for support. I find that with this doll, it's really easy to create natural-looking sitting poses. She's so well balanced that you can even have her stand on one leg without much difficulty. Well, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye!